It is your boy Black Ronin back on that again with another banger for y'all. Is out here today. There, y'all. Welcome on back. Been a little minute, but we back on in the grind. But guys, this here was just on my chest today, and I was just thinking. I was just looking around at the dating pool. It's been a while since I made one of these type of videos, but it's safe for us to say the dating pool is horrendous here in America, and it's bad on both sides. On my side, the men, you got a lot of weak men running around. They think all they need is a bunch of money, and that's all to it, which is completely false. You can be broke like myself and still pull a lot of women, which is better, honestly. Well, it's not better to be broke, but I'm gonna get to my side in a little bit. But speaking of women, I actually pulled my Uber driver today, so hopefully that goes well. But guys, we it's bad on both sides. And then on top of that, you got the women who are just completely out of touch with everything in life. But I was just thinking to myself, to all the women out there who really want that dream type of man, they want a man who's, I would argue, even like myself, like look at me, like I'm a decent looking dude. I'm in decent shape. Um, Most dudes are out of shape. Most dudes, you know, just take anything. They have no goals. They have nothing to live for. They just go home, play video games, and that's their life. That's not me, So I would argue, in terms of overall men, I'm pretty up there in value. I can definitely say that for myself. Financially, I'm not there yet, but hey, that's going to come over time. I got the mindset and I got the drive. I got the discipline to get there. It's just all going to take time. Now, with that said, to all the women out there, if you want a particular type of man, you want a strong masculine man, I'm gonna give y'all top three traits that you need to have, to secure the type of man that you want. Now, I do gotta make something clear. I know a lot of y'all women, y'all going through it in terms of the types of men that y'all get approached by, and men like me, it's, I'm not gonna say you don't see us approach, but see, for me growing up, this is me as a teenager, back in the day, and back then, I was just used to women approaching me, so I didn't really, nobody really pushed me to go out there and start approaching. And when I got out of high school, I didn't really care, like I just wasn't active anymore, and I gained a few pounds, and yeah, and I fell off. But 2 years ago, I said I made a change and got back in the gym, got more active, and cleaned up my habits, and still going. And I feel better than ever. I really came quite some way, and still going. So for us dudes that are like me, who are born like this, and also I fell off, so I've been on the side where I wasn't the most desirable at the time too. So been on both sides. And now I'm back on the side, I used to be as a teenager, but it's different, when you're older. And but I'm glad I went through all this. So just know, a man like me, it takes us time before we start to go cold approaching, because growing up, we're used to getting that type of attention. And then on top of that, it was a different time, way before social media. Because I'm 25, so social media wasn't really popping like that as a teen, as sort of ish, but it didn't really take off like that, until maybe, well, honestly, when I got out of high school back in 2018. But coming up as a kid, 11, 12 years old, that was a different time to be alive back then, so socially, we were just on a different level. But now it's like everybody just fixated on online, dating online, which I just like the cold approach. It's so much better. And if you're a decent looking dude, you need a cold approach, 1000%. But I got to get into the top three traits for all you women out there to have to get the man of your dreams. And also, don't be afraid to go ahead and shoot your shot here and there. I know it's not really your thing. I know y'all expect the man to do it, which I don't mind, but don't be afraid to do that. Like Like us men are very, very cool with, like telling you, well, I can't say all men, but us men in general, we're very pretty chill when it comes down to just saying yes or no to certain things. But top three traits that a woman can have that just gonna make her absolutely outstanding. And I really think y'all need to have these. But coming in at number three, I gotta talk about is good communication. This goes verbally or non-verbal. Like, yeah, verbally, non-verbally, yeah, all different ways. Now let me explain on this because when I approach some women, I literally will have women stare me up and down, smile at me, lick their lips, everything. Then I go walk up and approach them, and they just give me a dirty look and just like as soon as I start talking to them, maybe it's my voice, I don't know, but they just turn away and yeah, just flat out ignore me. I'm not stressing. Just go get another girl. It's not a big deal. It's all part of rejection. But that type of nonverbal communication is very, very toxic. If you just want to get attention, yeah, like you need to, nah, don't be that type of person. So that's the first thing. Good communication. If you do stuff like that, actually, like, have in your head, like, hey, I actually want this person. All that playing hard to get is just going to get you blocked by a man like me. The amount of women I blocked over the years is insane. Which lead me to another thing when it comes down to communication, and that is through text message. If I'm asking you, something simple, like, hey, let's, oh yeah, here we go. Like, I'm gonna hang out such and such place. Let's meet at this time. Okay, cool. You know, we get there or if something come up, don't just ghost me and not show up, which I rarely have actually happen. It's very rare that it ever happens, but occasionally it'll happen. But ghosting in general is just so kiddish. Like it's so childlike. Like that's something that just needs to go away. If you just don't really like that person like that, you don't know how to tell them, or you came across a better person or better opportunity, yeah, whatever it may be, um, or you're just really not feeling that person like you thought you were gonna feel them. Just go ahead and say, hey, you know what, you're not for me. I'm cool with that. But if I'm texting you and I say, hey, tell me about X, Y, and Z, or hey, let's go here, and you ghost me, and then you come back a couple days later, hey, blah, 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 I'm just going to block you. Like, if I haven't already, if I don't hear back from you in 24 hours, like I get it, we work, but women be on their phone a lot. So, yeah, if you're not batting to me, I'm just going to go ahead and block you and keep it pushing. So, good communication, verbally, non-verbally, that really, really is a big problem that we have right now. But if you're good in terms of communication, like talking to a person, now I get it, we do got a lot of weak men who just always just blow up a woman phone. Like, yeah, you don't want to be that guy. But if you see a guy, he's got like he's texting you, he's trying to set up a date, like like listen to him, go back and forth. Like, don't be afraid to just chat with that person, talk to that person on the phone, let him be himself. And if you don't like it, just tell him, hey, I'm not really feeling this. That's all you got to say. He will respect you so much more. So that's the first thing, good communication. That's a big plus if you got that. Now, coming in at number two, a woman that hits the gym. This is so important because you're going to operate at such a better frequency. Like, any woman that hits the gym, we just click so much better, because we live life looking at life just on a higher frequency. And not to say you can't do it with a woman who's out of shape, because there are instances where a woman is out of shape, but she's in the gym and, she showed me her before and after. It's like, yeah, she got a little weight on her, but she still look good. One of those type of women. And then she shows me, hey, I'm actually in the gym. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, you're trying? And yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't mind women like that. But yeah, women who just don't take care of herself, it shows too. You like everything from her character, how she acts, and just how she goes through life, and like I noticed you're just a lot more happier when you hit the gym and work out. So yeah, that's a big plus. A woman that takes care of herself, that's easily number two. Now coming in at number one, this is really not this is not women's fault. This is more so society programming, and it's pretty normalized, but I feel like this is a big issue. But finding a woman that's straight, that is a very difficult thing to find nowadays. But yeah, it has to be talked about. Now, if you're dating an older woman, like that's why I usually date a lot of older women, but it's definitely a lot more easier. But in my generation, it's a bit tougher, yeah, to find a woman that's straight. A lot of women be on bisexual and all this other stuff, which I'm not knocking. If that's you, hey, do you, but it's not an attractive trait to me at least. And I understand why it's so normalized, because when you see it on TV, it's everywhere. It like women. I truly believe a lot of women think that's what turn on a lot of men, and I know a lot of men really don't care. But me personally, not every man is gonna be okay with that. That's just, for me, it's not a turn on. But I think a lot of women may do it just to turn on men, just to get that attention from them. But yeah, that's, in my opinion, it's not. Nah, no, it doesn't attract me. And then on top of that, as a man, when I see that, I'm just like, basically, what you're telling me is that I have no type of sexual discipline. I'll just go after anything, man or woman. Then on top of that, I gotta ask myself, it's like, do I want to deal with somebody who, I'm walking around and she's looking at this, looking at that, and which I'm not in my head about all that stuff, but it's just like, come on now, like worrying about men is one thing, but I gotta worry about women too. Like, nah, I don't want that extra stress. And on top of that, you know, I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but we definitely have to be on the same page about, like, no cheating. Like, if you're not cheater, and yeah, like, basically, like, if you don't cheat and you're very faithful, and every other quality I'm looking for matches, then yeah, it can work. But me personally, it's not a turn on. It's not something that's gonna make me be like, oh yeah. But a lot of dudes look at that and be like, oh, I can be with all these other women because she's bought. No, not necessarily. Because a lot of women do want their man to themselves. So nah. But I'm not saying, you ain't got women out there who, yeah, oh, let you bring over this woman, and then y'all all, yeah. But I feel like you have to have a certain type of structure with that as a man to pull that off. And yeah, you have to move a little differently with that type of life. But I'm not knocking it. It's been done through all out of history. But me personally, I prefer a woman that just wants me and me only, attracted to me, and she ain't looking at nobody else like that. Now looking at the children too. If I decide to have children with her, you know, I don't want them to be coming out and be like, oh, I want to go for this, go for that, like just anything. I'm not knocking, but at the same time, you want your kids to reproduce. You don't want your kids to just be swaying over here and like, oh, I'm gonna stick with this side, like. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but it's just like, if you're a parent, you want your kids to keep the family tree going. That's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's really the best traits. If you like those three traits, if you got those three traits right there, you are a high value woman right there, like 1000%. But that's all I gotta say. It is your boy Black Ronin. Let me know what you guys think of this. Y'all take it easy.